And I want to help people. I want them to learn how to live a healthy lifestyle, but also live a lifestyle that can be fun, not a diet.
Welcome to the Rebel Health Coach Podcast with Thom Underwood. Armed with truth and knowledge, your journey to a healthy lifestyle can be obtained. Preventative wellness, quality nourishment, and daily fitness routines dramatically improve your outlook on life as a whole. And you'll find the support and info you need to accomplish a healthier lifestyle here. Together, we can empower each other along our journey to an amazing you.
In episode number 1 of the Rebel Health Coach podcast, Tony Loyd of the Social Entrepreneur podcast joins me to discuss the Rebel Health Coach podcast, what to expect, what to look for, also weight loss that lasts, and the change to 3 Roses Wellness, the healthcare crisis, and what problems in the world I'd like to solve today. Thank you. Enjoy this episode.
Hi, I'm Tony Loyd, and I'm here today with Thom Underwood, the founder of Weight Loss That Lasts and the Rebel Health Coach. And I can't wait to dig in to find out about the Rebel Health Coach. So Thom, introduce yourself, and who are you, and what in the world is a Rebel Health Coach?
Oh, Tony, I appreciate you jumping on the call with me today. I'm excited about this, and I'm excited about getting the word out there. What basically, Tony, my story goes back a little bit. February 2007, I was almost 290 pounds. I was overweight. I had high blood pressure. Cholesterol was off the charts, and I was pre-diabetic.
You were 290 pounds?
290 pounds.
And you're not 7'7", right?
No, I'm not. No, I'm 6 foot. Actually, 6'1". I've shrunk an inch since then.
Wow. So you were carrying all that extra weight, and so what happened?
Well, I went to the doc and for my physical, and as most docs do, he broke out his prescription pad and said, "Okay, here's a prescription for high blood pressure medication. Or here's for your cholesterol," which was a statin for the high cholesterol. The high blood pressure, and here's a pill for the diabetes. And you're going to have to start pricking your finger once a week and testing your blood. And I looked at him, and the first thing out of my mind, in my head was my father passed away at the age of 64 from diabetic complications. And I didn't want to go there. So I said, what do I got to do to not take all this medication and change my life? He said, you got to start exercising and eat healthy. So I got the medications. He gave me the scripts. I talked to him. I said, look, I don't really want to take these scripts. I said, which ones do I have to take right now? He said, well, I'd suggest you at least get on the high blood pressure for right now and come back in 6 months and we'll see where we're at. So I got the high blood pressure medication filled and went home, and my wife had a treadmill in the basement. So I started on the treadmill. And at that time, it was February, so Nutrisystems was all over the TV for their New Year's push. So I invested in Nutrisystems, and I started losing the weight. The treadmill, I worked out on the treadmill. The treadmill got boring.
Yeah.
I went to my office and the treadmill are both in the basement. So I went to my office, over to my computer, and I Googled kickboxing. And that's where I found this gym right down the street called Knuckle Up Fitness. At that time, I needed to lose the weight, so I went to Knuckle Up Fitness and tried a kickboxing class and almost died.
Tough workout, isn't it?
Yes, a very tough workout. I struggled to make it for the whole hour that first time. But at the same time, I realized that this is what I needed. It was fun. It was a good workout. It was fast-paced. And I was hitting something. What's not to like about hitting something? So I kept going back. 6 months later, I dropped like 20 pounds, and I went back to the doc. He took me off the blood pressure. He said, don't worry about the other drugs right now. Just keep doing what you're doing. So I kept doing what I was doing. I started hanging out with the gym rats, the guys at Knuckle Up Fitness, which are a bunch of great people. I started realizing that the Nutrisystems food was basically just teaching me portion control. But I started looking at the Nutrisystems itself and the food itself and started reading the label and realizing that the food is basically nothing but processed foods. So I started getting into the paleo diet, started realizing that what real food was, and I got into that, and I started doing that, and I kept moving forward. Well, that's about where I left off, and I lost, by 2007, quick calculation, I was just going to be 49. So on my 50th birthday, I decided to look into going into nutrition and learning about nutrition and learning what makes it tick. As I was looking into that, I kept doing what I was doing. By the time it was all over, by 2012, 2013, I was down to 190 pounds. So I lost pretty much a whole Backstreet Boy.
Wow.
That's about where I left off. And then I got involved with a multi-level marketing company. And one of the things all these people started calling themselves health coaches because they were selling a product. And I know this is going to probably bend some ears, but they were selling a product and they were calling themselves health coaches. But basically, they were just pushing a program. If you varied from their program, they got you back on it, which is fine. It works. It's like it all works. I'm not cutting down Nutrisystems. It works. Jenny Craig works. Weight Watchers works. Multi-level marketing companies have the good products, and there's awesome products out there, but you're not a health coach. So I went back to the books and said, you know what? I'm going to sign up for this, the Institute of Integrative Nutrition out of New York. It's an online course. It's a year long. Completed that in March of 2015 as a certified health and wellness coach. And that's where I set off to start making my way in this world of helping people get healthy the right way.
Yeah. Tom, there's a lot I like about your story. You're talking about all the things that work, but you had to find what worked for you.
Exactly.
Yeah. You were talking about a treadmill works, but it wasn't for you. I'm fairly convinced somewhere in hell there's a treadmill and a stair climber sitting side by side. So
with clothes hanging on it.
With clothes hanging on it, yeah. So a treadmill can work, but it just wasn't working for you. So you went and found the bare knuckles kickboxing stuff. Nutrisystem works, sure, but that wasn't working for you. So
right.
What I really like about your story, Tom, is that you found your way of how things worked for you. So where did this idea about the Rebel Health Coach, where did that come from?
Well, last November, I belonged to a group called the Health Coach Group. And last November, they had a health coach summit down in Port St. Lucie at the Club Med there. And it was from Wednesday to Sunday. So I flew in on Wednesday. I took the shuttle to the Club Med, which is an all-inclusive place. Very nice. And on the beach, I got there, I was hanging out at the beach. And that night we had our first, when you have your conference, you have the first night of like meet and greets and welcome to the conference, dinner and little group hangout and meet everybody. I went to the bar about 4:00 to get a drink and hang out for a minute and wait for the festivities to start. And I met one of the guys that's in the health coach group with me, Stan, came to the bar and had a drink with me. There was a bunch of ladies from the health coach group there, but I didn't recognize them because I didn't know them. I knew Stan because we had talked on the phone. And so we go to the conference and I'm sitting there that night and I lit up a cigar. And so all the ladies at the health coach summit ended up calling me the Rebel Health Coach because I step outside the box, Tony, from a health coach perspective. And they said, this is their quote, is that I'm a bourbon and rock and roll type guy. And I don't fit the cookie cutter health coach mold. And that's where the Rebel came from, but basically it boils down to this. A diet's a 4-letter word, in my opinion. If you have to enjoy your life also. So I look at it like I enjoy a glass of bourbon and I enjoy a cigar.
Yeah, so it's what works for you. You're finding your own path, and it's just like with what you were talking about before. With diet, with exercise, you have to find what works for you. So
exactly,
yeah. So breaking the mold a little bit and getting outside the box, or heck, there is no box. The Rebel Health Coach is kind of a nickname, and it's stuck with you. But what is weight loss that lasts? What is that?
Well, that was the first thing that came to mind when I was looking for a website. And weight loss that lasts is basically lasting weight loss. It's changing your perspective and making lifestyle changes so that the weight loss lasts forever. You change things. You listen to your body. It tells you, if you're feeling sluggish, if you need to make changes, your body's a very good system. I mean, God gave us a great system inside our body to process foods. When something's wrong, inflammation starts. It has ways of telling you that something's not right. Recently, I had some vertigo, and I was trying to figure out what caused it. And basically, it was I wasn't getting enough water, which is something I preach every day, So I added more water to my daily intake, and the vertigo went away. So your body tells you things like that. And weight loss at last came to mind because it was lasting. It wasn't a system. I mean, in my eyes, some of these things are revolving doors for weight loss. You lose the weight. Calorie restriction diets don't work. Calorie restriction works to lose weight. You can't eat more calories than you're burning a day. Otherwise, you're going to gain weight. So calorie restriction works. But what happens with a lot of these systems is once you stop going and once you stop the system, you gain the weight back. So you go back to what you know works. Like in my case, it would have been going back to Nutrisystems. So I started Weight Loss That Lasts for a title of what I was doing. I wanted to teach people the lifestyle changes that are necessary to keep the weight off forever.
So the Rebel Health Coach podcast is based on this weight loss that lasts process that you have come up with.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah. When you think about what's the big problem in the world that you're trying to solve, how do you think about that?
Well, Tony, our healthcare system is basically a disease care system. It's placing a Band-Aid on the actual problem. Sickness or healthcare used to be an epidemic, but now we're in a crisis at this point. We have 1 out of 3 people are 1 out of 3 Americans are pre-diabetic. Cancer is on the rise. We're a nation in dis-ease. And we need to look at the root of the problem. I mean, great. I took the high blood pressure medication. Take the blood pressure medication, but fix what's wrong. If you have high blood pressure, you need to keep it down. Fix what's wrong with the blood pressure. Don't just keep taking the drugs. That's the problem I want to solve. I mean, my dad died of diabetic complications, and I want to reach out and help everybody that I can get away from the drugs if they're possible. I can't guarantee everybody's going to be able to come off the drugs like I did. I'm not a doctor. I don't play a doctor on TV. There's legitimate proof out there that you can reverse a lot of these things.
Yeah. One thing we haven't talked about yet, you and I are friends. We've talked a few times about the Rebel Health Coach and weight loss that lasts, but I've also heard you talk a little bit about 3 Roses Wellness. Now, what is that and how does that fit in there?
Well, Tony, I've been doing this a while, and after I went to the Health Coach Summit, I spent some time in prayer one day asking God what this looks like. What does He want for me out of this business? And I had a very strong tap on my shoulder that He wants me to do this for Him. And that's where 3 Roses Wellness was born. 3 Roses Wellness is going to be a nonprofit. It is going to be for people who would like to get on my programs, who can't afford to have my programs. I will have an application that they can fill out. We will discuss the application during the time we do our initial consultation, and we will talk about what they can do and what program I suggest they do. And there will be a donate button. And basically, when the website's done, 3 Roses Wellness, the donate button's going up. And basically, 3 Roses is going to eventually evolve into a ministry of helping people that need the help and can't afford the help. I feel very strongly that if you help enough people get what they want, you will get what you want.
Yeah, absolutely.
And now a word from our sponsor. We'll be back in a minute.
We all know that eating healthy is a part of becoming a better person. But if you're finding the organic and non-toxic products too expensive or hard to find, then ThriveMarket.com, the healthy online shopping club, is your solution. Like the Costco meets Whole Foods for everything healthy online, you'll get the best organic and non-GMO brands up to 50% off retail prices, shipped nationally to your door for free within 2 to 3 days. When you become a member, ThriveMarket.com will donate a free membership to a low-income family, teacher, or veteran, so we can all thrive together. You never have to pay full price for healthy food again. Go to ThriveMarket.com/TheRebelHealthCoach to get your free jar of coconut oil and 15% off your first order. This offer is valued at $18 and available for our listeners only on this special link. So here it is again, ThriveMarket.com/TheRebelHealthCoach.
So how are you going to go about solving people's problems? Well, what's the solution then?
Well, Tony, I have a couple different programs. I have 2 different 3-month programs. I have an in-depth 3-month program where you have study courses every day, content every day to study. That's the Physician's Health Coach program. That's approved by physicians. So that's very in-depth. Takes some work on the person's end that's getting involved in this. It takes some process. It takes some work on their end. I have a 3-month program that has a weekly email, or a biweekly email, I should say. And that biweekly email has a set of, things to study and go over. My programs take you on a path of baby steps. They take you from the basics of drinking enough water. If you have never exercised, let's get started with a 20-minute walk every day. Do the baby steps. Also, at the same time, it's going to teach you how to read labels, what to look for on labels, what to eat, how to optimize your eating times to lose the weight. I have a cleanse that helps get the whole process started. Basically, every other week, we'll have a 50-minute call, and we will go over the prior week or the prior 2 weeks. Every 2 weeks, we have a phone call. We'll go over the prior 2-week period over the phone or in person if you're local, or on Skype if you want to do Skype and see my pretty face. You can do that. And we'll discuss it. And we'll discuss how you're feeling. And we'll talk about the food groups. And there's 2 different foods. We have a primary food group and a secondary food group. The primary food group is our spiritual walk, our careers, our relationships, our exercise component, and all those aspects affect how we eat. So during the 3-month period, we work on those also, so that the secondary food is what we actually put in our mouths. But I firmly believe that you can eat perfectly, but if any of those one areas is off, it's going to affect the way you eat. And I'm an example, Tony. This last couple months, I've been stressed. I've had some things going on in my life that have stressed me out. And that stress caused me to gain weight. And I looked at it the other day. I actually am teaming with another gal here that has a system that is a body scan. But I went to get my body scan, weigh in for the first time in a while, because usually I don't go by weigh in on the scale. I go by how my clothes fit and how I feel. So I went to weigh in. I went to get my body scan, and I was up almost 15 pounds. And so my primary food group has been out of whack. And it's caused me to eat things that I probably shouldn't be eating. So I'm just as guilty as everybody else, but you have to realize that it's time to get back at it. How do you do that?
You mentioned, Tom, that you have an accountability buddy in this, that you have somebody that you work with, even you reach out. So is that really what you're trying to be here? Is you're trying to be somebody's accountability buddy and help them to work through these issues around primary and secondary foods?
Oh, exactly. I'm your accountability person. I have people log into MyFitnessPal, log what they eat. I get to look at what they're eating. I adjust things on their MyFitnessPal to what I consider optimal levels for that person's individual body. If I log in there and see you haven't been logged in, I send you a text. Say, hey, how come you're not logging in? What's going on? What can I help you with? And I'm always available even though we meet every 2 weeks, I'm there via text. I'm there by phone. If you want me anytime, I'm there for you. I've had clients that, especially businessmen that are on the road, and you know this because you were in the top Fortune 500 companies, and you're on the road traveling, you eat out late, you go to the restaurant, you have a couple of drinks with your work partners, or you eat at 8, 9 o'clock at night, and then you go back to bed and get up and do it all over again.
Yeah.
So I have past clients that would text me, take a picture of the menu at the restaurant they're at and say, what should I eat on this menu? And I'll look at the menu and say, okay, I want you to order this piece of chicken, but I want you to ask for it naked. Naked means nothing on it. Ask for it cooked naked and get a vegetable or a salad, but eat light because you're going to bed. Keep it light. You're going to bed late. You don't want it to sit on you all night long.
Yeah, I know what that's like to, it's pretty easy when you're at home and you're doing the shopping and you're preparing the meals and all that. But once you hit the road, that can really double down on the kind of stress that you have on your diet. Yeah, absolutely. And when you think about the kind of impact that you're hoping to have, how do you think about that? I mean, it's one thing, we've described the problem, we've described what you're providing as a solution, but what's the outcome? What's the impact? What are you hoping to have happen in the world because of what you're doing?
Well, that's kind of a twofold question, basically. The one Bible verse that comes to my mind is 1 Corinthians 6:19 and 20, that your body is a temple and you need to take care of it as such. So one of the things that I would like to accomplish is that people understand that God gave you a perfect body, a perfect system, even a detox system. It's all inside your own body. But what you feed your body is something that controls the output of your body during the whole day. It also controls your emotions. It controls it causes depression. It causes all kinds of cancers. So be careful what you put in your body. My impact, Tony, is I really want to let people understand that diet's a 4-letter word, that you can still live your life and have that piece of cake on a family event and not feel guilty about it. It's okay to have that piece of cake, and it's okay to enjoy the family, because that's part of the primary food group. You need to have that aspect of your self-care, your family time. I call it primary care time. I need downtime with my significant other. I need downtime with my family, and I need downtime with my buddies. Sitting around with a buddy on a Friday night, smoking a good cigar and drinking a glass of bourbon. There's nothing wrong with that. You have to live your life, but you also have to feed your body the right things spiritually, regardless of what your spiritual walk is, but you still have to feed it right. I want to help people that need the help. I want to help them work through these things and I have the knowledge. Start school up again on Monday, diving deeper into functional medicine so that I can be certified in functional medicine. And I want to help people be happy with themselves. We need to have, there's so much stuff in this world, especially all the outside influences. There's so many things that aren't good that if we could all just be happy and live in a world of happiness, it would be awesome. And what we feed our body is part of it. And I want to help people. I want them to learn how to live a healthy lifestyle, but also live a lifestyle that can be fun, not a diet.
That's great. I love that you're walking the walk and not just talking the talk. And not only that, but you're so dedicated to this. You have your own coach that's coaching you, and you're continuing in this lifelong learning. So that's really, that's all the pieces, isn't it?
It's the best I can do, Tony. I wake up every day and I ask him what he wants from me today. And sometimes, I fail. I fail just like the next person. We all fall off track. I've fallen off track the last few months due to stress and situations that are out of my control. But we all fall off. It's learning how to get back on. And I don't know, what's that song about riding a bull, Fu Manchu?
Yeah.
It's all about getting back on that horse or getting back on that bull and riding.
Yeah. Yeah. So what should people expect from the Rebel Health Coach podcast then? How often is it going to come in? Tell us about it.
Well, Tony, the Rebel Health Coach is going to be 15 to 20 minutes long. It's going to consist of some tips and tricks, hacks, such as putting coconut oil in your coffee, things like that it's going to be bi-weekly at first. I'm going to plan on going to weekly. as it continues. I'm going to have solo. I've got some 3-parter that I'm going to have on fat, just fat alone. It's called Chew the Fat. And that will be a 3-part series. And then I'm going to have interviews such as this. And then I'm going to have probably even have some real live health coaching calls with some of my clients.
So if people find you, they're going to find you on iTunes or Google Play or Stitcher or SoundCloud, wherever podcasts are found. But if they found you there, how would they find you online? What's your URL, and are you on social media? How does that work?
Yes, I am, Tony. If you go to Thom Underwood, it's THOM, or Thom, as many people call me. It's THOM Underwood.net.
Okay, .net, not .com.
Yep. And not related to Carrie Underwood.
No.
Unfortunately. But it's ThomUnderwood.net. Just by going to the button to the far right-hand side, it says, ask me a question. Go ahead and click that. They'll record your question and it'll come to me. Also, there's a phone number at the top. You can reach me there. My email address at the very top, you have my link to my Facebook page, my Twitter account, and my Gmail Plus, or Google Plus. Sorry.
So as we're going out then, Thom, what's a call to action? So, there's no reason for us to hang out together for all this time without going and taking action after that, right? So what's something that people could go and do today?
Tony, thank you for asking that question. I have a couple programs that I run. One is the Healthy Habits program, and this is a physician-approved program. In this program, we start at the beginning. We walk you through creating healthy habits while we also work on what is functionally going on inside your body. Because just adjusting your diet alone is not enough. We must heal what is going on inside your body. Whether it is leaky gut, diabetes, adrenal issues, thyroid problems, stress, or any other myriad of problems. Along with the Healthy Habits program, I offer a 14-day detox program, and I'm currently working on a gut health program. After the 3-month program, we will discuss future options for you to pursue.
Thom, thanks so much for sharing all this, and I look forward to hearing more about the Rebel Health Coach.
Tony, man, I don't know how much more I can say, how much I appreciate you reaching out to me and doing this with me today. You're a good dude, and I thank you for everything you've done with me so far to this point. So, thanks very much.
All right, thanks, Thom.
Thank you for joining in today with the Rebel Health Coach, Thom Underwood. And be sure to subscribe to the show so you can catch all the episodes. With desire and commitment, you can implement a lifestyle of wellness and fitness. For the support, encouragement, and tools you need to be successful, visit ThomUnderwood.net.